welcome to the podcast. My name is Kristen. You can find me on Instagram at Yarn and on Ravelry as K10, that's K10. Hope you're all doing well. It is the 3rd of January, so a new year has begun, 2025. Hope you all had a really nice Christmas as well. Paul and I went to my parents' place in Foster and spent Christmas with my family, which was lovely. Got to catch up with my brother and his partner and my mum and dad, which was really lovely. And then we came home and had a very quiet New Year's Eve here. We had a barbecue and then we watched some movies, and we were in bed by, I think it was 10:30. So we didn't last till 12 midnight, but that was fine. And then we got up really early the next morning and went and had an amazing swim. Actually, the surf has been incredible. It's usually this time of year we get a lot of wind and the surf can be quite rough, but this year it's really calm, beautiful rolling waves. And the water is just incredibly warm. It's very odd for this time of year. So yeah, I hope you all had a lovely New Year's wherever you are, and 2025, it's going to be a good year. I have a good feeling about it. So I just wanted to talk also about our knit along, which has just started. It started on the 1st of January, and that is our tee knit along or top knit along. So any summer top, anything without long sleeves basically. So tees, tops, vests, camis, whatever you want to knit. You can start a new project, you can work on a old whip, it's up to you. So I'm running this over on our Ravelry group, and I would really love it if you could come over and join in. I want to get the group active. I actually miss Ravelry quite a lot, and just talking on the thread in the group, I find Instagram, I don't know, I'm a little bit disappointed with how Instagram has gone, particularly with the algorithm, and I feel like as a business, you just got to keep jumping through hoops all the time with Instagram. You have to keep up with the changes in the algorithm, and they have all these new things that you have to do, and it's just, I mean, you've got enough to do as a small business, so I'm finding it difficult and I'm not really enjoying it at all. And I don't feel like Instagram's a great way to communicate with customers or, you know, people, like-minded people. So I know 2025 I'm really going to focus more on YouTube. I love YouTube. I love being able to actually talk to you guys and have a conversation with you through YouTube. And also I'd like to really start making Ravelry a bit more active again, as in our thread. I don't really know, I mean, if anyone knows of another forum that can be used for Skein for the podcast, I'd like to know, because I know Ravelry had issues with access for certain people, and that was a real shame. And I know a lot of people stopped using Ravelry because of that. So I want to be able to have a place where everybody can come. So yeah, if you know of anywhere, just let me know. Yeah, so the knit along is on from now until the end of February. So like I said, everyone's welcome, doesn't matter what you knit on. It's just, as in, you can knit on whips or new projects, just as long as it's a summer top or a top that doesn't have sleeves or long sleeves. It can have short sleeves. Come over and join in. And I have cast on for Tegna for the knit along, which is by Caitlin Hunter. And I think I mentioned last podcast that this has been in my queue for a very long time. I actually remembered as I was casting on, I did actually start this project ages ago, and I was going to take it away on holidays with me overseas. And I remember the cast on is 340 stitches, which is crazy. And I remember I cast on, I think it was like the day before we left, and I knitted a few rows, and then I realized that I had twisted the cast on. So I then like took it all out and cast on something new, because I just wasn't going to go through all that again. This time I cast on 340 stitches again, and I was really took my time to make sure I didn't twist the cast on when I joined in the round, because yeah, that would have been horrible. And I think I'm okay so far. I've done a few repeats of the pattern. I mean, you can't really see too much, but it is a lace pattern, and from memory, this is going back a few years ago, I thought the lace pattern was quite difficult, but it's not. It's actually quite easy. It's not a huge pattern repeat, so it's not too bad. And once I got the first 1 or 2 rows down, I could see from my knitting exactly where I was in the row. I could read what I had knitted, and then I could see on the chart where I was. So I'm hoping yeah, it's going to be easy, which it will be. I really like lace knitting anyway, so it's not a big deal for me. What I'm going to do with the Tegna is I'm going to put a picture up so you can have a look. I'm pretty sure you all know what Tegna looks like, but if you don't, here's a picture. What I want to do is actually crop the top. So I usually, for a crop for me, I knit the body for about 9-10 inches. So this is a bottom up. So I'm going to knit the lace and then knit the stockinette portion up until it measures, I think I'm going to go 9 inches, so I'm going to go quite cropped, and then I'm going to start the sleeves and the yoke. But I think it'd be really cute, because I like, in summer, I really like having tops that just sit on my high hip, where my shorts and my jeans and skirts hit. I actually really like high-waisted pants and skirts, so in summer it's really nice to have it just sit on that line, not showing any belly, but just kind of sitting along that line. And I think it'd be really nice having the lace just touching that area. So yeah, that's my plan. I am using our Llano. This is New Beginnings, which I had dyed, and I was going to release this on New Year's, but decided not to do that. But yeah, it's a good sort of New Year's yarn, I guess. And yeah, so it's got lovely golden shades and brown and a little bit of peach. I only have 2 skeins of this. I can dye more if I need to, but it will be a different dye lot, which is okay, because I'm knitting the lace in just using one ball, and then when I get to the body, the stockinette section, I'm going to alternate. So it shouldn't matter if I do need to add in a third. I'll just sort of alternate it in, and I'm pretty sure once if I do actually run out of yarn, it will probably be the sleeves. So that won't matter if it's a little bit different on the sleeves, just as long as it's uniform throughout the body. So yeah, that's Tegna by Caitlin Hunter, and yeah, I'd love to see you over on the group, and I'll put a link below so you can come and join in. I've also been knitting away at my Sugar Rush sock kit. So the Sugar Rush socks are a new thing that we're doing for the shop, and they're a real hit. People really like them. They're all one-of-a-kind colours, and at the moment they've been sock sets, but I am thinking of putting single skeins in as well as some mini sets. But yeah, they're just one-of-a-kind colours. I love them because not only do I like the colours that are coming out, but I'm just not putting any pressure on myself. And that's something that I'm thinking about for 2025. I'm doing things that make me feel happy, and actually dyeing these, it's just so much fun, because I just get whatever colours I feel like, and I splash them on and whatever happens, happens. And yeah, they're really fun to dye. And I don't have the pressure of writing a recipe and reproducing the colors. It's just a one-off, so it's really good. So this sock set that I'm using is the Vanilla Coke with cherry ice cream. So the Sugar Rush it's all based on sweet things. So all the names are desserts or lollies or whatever is sweet. Yeah, and so as you can see, I used, all the sock sets come with one whole skein of yarn and a mini, and I've used the mini for the cuff and for the toe, and I wasn't quite sure if I'd have enough for the heel as well, but I think I will, because this is the mini, the leftover, and all I have to do is a small toe, so I'm pretty sure I could have used it for the heel. I also saw on Instagram someone had bought one of these and had cast on, and they did they used the mini, they did the cuff and the heel in the actual the main yarn, and then they was striping through the mini, and I just thought that was really lovely too. So the thing with this color too though is it's very dark in sections, and as I've been using it, a little bit of the dye has been coming off onto my hands. Now that's normal for hand dyed yarn when it's really dark or really saturated. It can happen. I do rinse my yarns after I dye them, but sometimes it's really hard to get all the dye out, and even though when I rinse it the water runs clear, sometimes small particles can remain in the fibre, which is why I always say to people, when you wash your hand knits with hand dyed yarn, the first couple of washes you should never ever leave your projects in the water to soak, because there is a really good chance that there are still some dye particles left, and when you leave them to soak, they will spread out and sort of stain your project. Of course, if it's just one color, if you've just knit with one color, it's not going to make much difference. But if you're using a speckled yarn or a variegated yarn, or if you're using color work, then it can stain it quite badly. So all you need to do with your first wash is you just put in cold water, a little bit of wool wash or shampoo, and then you just scrunch through the, put your project in and scrunch it up through, and sort of massage through the water so that you get it nice and wet, and then you take it straight out and hand wring it. So yeah, don't let it soak for the first couple of washes. So that's what I'll be doing with this, just a quick dunk in water to get it nice and wet. I'll put it in the machine just to tumble dry, not tumble dry, but is it tumble dry? Just to get the excess water out, and then I'll block them. So yeah, that is, oh, and the pattern I'm using is our vanilla sock pattern, which is a freebie on Ravelry. I will link it below, and I use this all the time for all my socks, because I absolutely love knitting vanilla socks. They're just the best. No thought, just nice and relaxing, and yeah, nice and simple, nice little sock. So this week I am releasing a new pattern. This is the Limeni Wrap, and I'm pretty sure I've spoken about this on the podcast before. It's just a basic wrap which has little tapered ends, and I use 3 colors of our Cushy DK, and it's just a really lovely, simple, relaxing project that yeah, it's color blocked and striped, and it's very, very easy to knit. So this is going to be released on Friday, and I do have kits that I have dyed up for the shop. This is the kit that I actually used for the wrap itself. So we have Whitewash, which is a simple sort of grey with little hints of pink and yellow. New Beginnings again, which is what I'm knitting Tegna with, and then Tickled Pink. So I have that, and then the other colors that I came up with, I thought a nice kind of plum combination would be nice. So we've got cedar, tamarind, and Java. Java is sort of a nice eggplanty, espresso-y purple, purpley brown. It's a really lovely color. And then green is always a big hit, so I have sea glass, juniper, and olive. And then the last set is just a lovely basic grey, which is silver, whisper, and char. So these are all in the shop and ready to ship. And then I have an option as well of choose your own colors, so you can choose whatever you like on the shop and we will dye it for you. And yeah, and then you can just buy the pattern if you don't want to buy the kit. So that is probably, once you watch this, I'm going to release this afternoon, which is Thursday. So tomorrow, if you're watching this, January the 4th, Friday, is when the yarns and the kit will be, the kit and the pattern will be available. So that is the Limeni Wrap, and it's actually based off another old pattern, which I can't remember the name, but it's a similar, very similar wrap that I released a couple of years ago, but that was in a fingering weight yarn. So this is a nice DK, and actually for winter wraps and things, I really love this shape, and I really like that the elongated crescent, because I like to be able to wrap it around my neck. I find I like triangular shawls. I like to actually knit those. Wearing them, I wear them around the house. I don't wear them out much, but these kind of shawls, the long elongated shapes, yeah, I really like to wear them. So yeah. Now sewing, I have completed the Inari dress, which is what I'm wearing. This is by Named, and I finished this just before Christmas, and I actually wore it down to my parents' place. I really like this pattern. It is I'll put a little picture up so you can see the pattern itself. It's a basic t-shirt dress. So straight up and down for the body, and just set in sleeves and a really nice neckline. It's very basic. This took me, I don't know, 2 afternoons maybe to sew up. I did use my overlocker, so it was much quicker, although I did the neck on my sewing machine and then overlocked it. And I'm glad I did, because the stretch on this cotton is not very much, and I thought actually while I was sewing the neck in that it would not stretch enough to actually fit, but I did, and I really put in a lot of strength and effort to stretch the neck band across, and I didn't think it was going to work, but it did, luckily. So yeah, I was really happy with this, and actually my idea for the dress was to wear it to the beach or just around the house, but when I finished it, I liked it so much that I thought, oh, I wouldn't mind actually just wearing that, you know, around the place, around town. The only thing is that it is a t-shirt dress, so it does have a very straight body, and for my body shape, it sort of doesn't look great. So what I ended up doing was I made a little tie. I actually had enough fabric left to do this, which I was really pleased with. So, and then that gives me a waist, because a lot of dresses that I sew, I like to have a cinched in waist, because it just, yeah, looks better, and I feel a lot more comfortable wearing it, so that's the main thing. I'll put in a few pictures while I'm talking about this so you can see the dress and me wearing it, and yeah, I'm really happy with it. The fabric itself I bought from Spotlight. They have lots of sales on at the moment. They have throughout the year, I think, with the economy being as it is, sales have been huge for everybody to get people to come in and buy. So that's been great for me because I've got quite a lot of fabric that's been quite cheap, like 30 to 50% off, which has been fantastic. And yeah, I just really like this one. So I wore this to my parents' place and Mum saw it and she said, oh, I really like that neckline and that'd be nice as a t-shirt. And I said to her, well, the pattern itself comes with a crop tee, but I'm sure I could lengthen it and make you one. And she was like, oh, that'd be fantastic. And I really like this fabric. And I said, well, funnily enough, I bought exactly the same fabric. I didn't even realize I bought this. And then I had a similar fabric in my stash, which I showed you last week or last podcast. So then I started making her a t-shirt. She's the same size as me, so it was really easy. And I'm almost finished. So I've done the whole thing except for the sleeves. I've just got to turn the sleeves and make them into a little folded sleeve, I think this is called, and then I've just got to hem it. So this will be done within an hour, and then I can send that down to her. And this fabric has a lot of stretch in it, so the neck went on perfectly. I had no issues putting the neck on for this one. And yeah, it was really easy to grade this into a t-shirt because the actual pattern itself, it tells you on the dress where the waist is, where the hip is. So I just cut the fabric off to where the hip was on the dress, and that will be long enough. If I do a small hem, that would be great for her. So yeah, it's a really good pattern, and I do know that Paper Scissors Frock, which is a fabric and pattern store online, they have this pattern on sale at the moment. So if you're interested, that's Paper Scissors Frock in Australia, and yeah, highly recommend this pattern. So now it's the new year. I just wanted to talk about a few of my plans for 2025. I don't have a lot of plans in terms of what I want to knit or sew, but I have general sort of outline. I did last year have a word. Every year I tend to, it sort of just surfaces a word that I sort of think about when I look ahead in the new year, what I want to sort of focus on. Last year it was strength, and I did a lot of work on myself, on my mindset, on my exercise. I did have been doing weights and trying to become stronger in my body and my mind, and that will continue on to the new year. But this year what's come up more is growth, and I feel like self-growth might be something that I'll be looking into. Mindset, mindfulness, learning more about different things, and also I'm really focusing on growing the business. And I have a really I have this craving to maybe think about opening up a shop at some stage. Now this may or may not happen. It's really the economy at the moment, and has been for the last year. It's been terrible. As we all know, our interest rates went up, things became very expensive, so it's not a great time to start thinking about doing that. But I want to put that kind of thought out into the universe, and hopefully in the future something will come of it. It's funny because a few months ago Paul and I went to a cafe here in Coffs Harbour, and it was in a alleyway, and as soon as I walked into the place I was like, oh my god, this, if I was to have a shop, this would be it. It was perfect. It was small, it had a really good vibe there, it was sort of creative and artistic. There was street art outside, and it would just be perfect. So just a little tiny shop maybe, and I actually said to Paul after we were in there, I was like, I just had this really good feeling about that place, and I could see, you know, a little yarn shop and a coffee machine, and he was like, oh yeah, I could see that. So maybe one day, I don't know, but that's what I'm kind of taking on board. I would love to do something like that. I did have a shop at the place that we're in now, but it's in an industrial area. It's not ideal. Plus, I have to work. I have to do the dyeing. So most of the time when people come in, I can't go out because I'm out the back dyeing yarn, and yeah, it didn't feel right. I always want this. I've always wanted this, but doing it at where we are at the moment, it wasn't the right time and it wasn't the right place. But I'm really sort of hoping to build up to that, because I think that would be amazing. Coffs Harbour, apart from Weave in Bellingen, they have a really lovely yarn store, but it's only a small part of their shop, and we actually wholesale to Weave, and we've got an order going in very soon. I actually just finished dyeing it, so we're going to be dropping it off soon. So there is a place locally, but it's not within Coffs Harbour. It's about half an hour drive. So I would love to do something like that. That's like high on my list of things to achieve at some point. So yeah, growth also to me means learning more about the business side of things. I mean, I've done a lot of reading. I mean, I've had this business since 2010, so that's 2010, yes, 15 years in, when did I start? May. So that's amazing. So I have done a lot of reading, but I would like to do more, particularly when it comes to social media. Like I said, Ravelry has been just so frustrating, and I'm sure if there's small businesses watching, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's just, they have you jumping through hoops and you just don't know what you're meant to do, and it's just so difficult. And actually, I remember back before COVID started, actually, it was good. It was, you would put your photos out, your followers would see it, it wasn't a problem, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. And yeah, it's very difficult. So I'm wanting to form more of a community around skein, and I want to be able to reach more people and actually have a conversation with people, and I'm finding Instagram's not the place to do that. I will still post on Instagram, but it would be good to find other alternatives. So my other plans for 2025 are, I've got a list that I wrote on my phone. I want to crochet a blanket, and just a nice throw that I could put on the lounge. I have a lot of scraps, a lot of DK yarn scraps that I want to use, but I need to think about what sort of color, because my idea is I have a main color and then I kind of put scrappy colors in. I'll put up a photo of a pattern that I'm thinking of using. It's very, very simple. I have crocheted before, but not for a very long time. I do actually enjoy the process of crochet though. I like how it's quicker than knitting, and I like the movement of it. It actually gives my hands a bit of a rest from knitting. So if anyone has any suggestions for a very simple granny blanket, please let me know. It's too hot at the moment to be crocheting a blanket. I have been working on socks and a nice top, but yeah, it's just too hot to be having anything on my lap. So yeah, I'll probably start that in autumn. The other thing I'm really quite set on doing is to create my own clothes. Now I'm really not happy with fast fashion. I don't like the idea of what it does to the environment, but I also really, I mean, the amount of money that they make you pay for things, and it's not very well made, and the material itself is very flimsy. I'm just really yeah, I just really am not into it. And I used to like going shopping, but I just don't anymore. But what I do get really good satisfaction from is actually making my own clothes. And of course, that started with knitting. I don't buy a lot of knitwear. Actually, I don't think I've bought a knitted jumper ever since I started knitting. I'll make my own. And that satisfaction of actually knitting it and wearing it is just so good. I mean, that's what I want for my wardrobe. The only thing is, obviously, underwear. I've never made it, so I will probably still buy that. Swimmers, I've never made. I know you can get really good patterns, but I don't feel like my sewing skills are good enough for that yet. And maybe jeans. I would love to be able to sew a pair of jeans, and I have sewn pants, and they were okay, but I think I need a bit more time. But whatever, apart from underwear and swimmers, whatever I can't make, I thought the best thing to do would be to shop at op shops and buy what I can't make. So like jeans, jackets, things like that. But basic wear like t-shirts and dresses and skirts and all that sort of stuff, I'm going to make myself. And of course, for winter, I will be knitting lots of jumpers as usual. So that's my plan for 2025. The other thing that I am really going to focus on is doing things that bring me joy. So if I feel like it's a chore to do them, if I find a pattern that everybody's raving about, but I'm sort of ho-hum, but I think, oh well, I might do it for the business, I'm not going to do that. If I really love it, I'm going to make it. If I don't, then I'm not. It's like with Instagram, I'm really finding no joy on that platform at all. I will still post, but I'm not going to spend much time or put much effort into it because it's just not bringing me any joy. What else? Again, like I was just talking about with buying clothes, that is not bringing me joy, but making them brings me great joy. So that is what I'm going to focus on 2025. Also, doing more things that I love. I love to garden, so I'm going to give that more time. I love painting, so I'm going to give that more time. And just, yeah, doing things that bring joy and, yeah, and also bringing in gratitude, of course. Like, I really find that very important in life, to be grateful for the things you have and being mindful about that too. So that's big for me. It was last year and I'm bringing that back in 2025, and hopefully I'll continue that for the rest of my life because yeah, we've got a lot to be grateful for. I mean, we're very lucky. A lot of us are very lucky, and yeah, we need to focus on the things that make us happy and that we are lucky to have. So I think that's everything. Yeah, I've got a very big knitting basket here full of stuff that I need to finish off. I've got a shawl in there that I started working on a while ago. It was a pattern, but I've stalled because I can't figure out what I want to do for the border, but I will get back to that. And then most of the stuff in here are scrap yarn that I'm going to be making my blanket out of. So yes, if you have any ideas for a blanket pattern, please let me know. I'd love to know if you do a word for the year. Let me know what it is. I'd be really interested in hearing what you what your focus is for 2025. And yeah, I just wish you all the best for 2025. Like, I really do, from the bottom of my heart. I hope you all have an amazing year. And yeah, let's connect. Like, please contact me on Instagram, Ravelry here, leave comments. Yeah, be great to get to know you all. And yeah, best wishes, and talk to you in 2 weeks' time. Bye.